Somebody asked me a really interesting question in my stream yesterday, and I kind of want to talk about it. The question was, what first made me think that I was on the spectrum? Now, before I answer that, if you've seen some of my older videos, I explicitly say that I did not think that I was on the spectrum. I certainly never had anything against it. I just think I had a lot of internalized ableism about it. But it was when some things were pointed out to me from a family friend. She has a very high support needs adult daughter, so she knows her stuff. And when she started pointing out a whole bunch of traits that I exhibit, I initially kind of brushed them off. But then it got me thinking. So I talked to a couple of my friends that I've known for a long time. While they do agree that I have exhibited those traits, they didn't think that put me on the spectrum. Naturally, the ADHD took over, and I did what we kind of do best. Research. I dove into a ton of it. I scoured through not only the DSM, but also peer-reviewed journals. I tried to listen more to the voices and experiences of the autistic creators, and when enough of their stories resonated with me, that's when I brought it up to my psych, who immediately invalidated my concerns and dismissed it on the spot after looking over my notes for a grand total of 2 seconds. That wasn't good enough for me, so I dove deeper. I compiled the list that our friend gave me, as well as came up with an even longer list of things that I was questioning. And while they're certainly not diagnostic, I took every online test I could. The RADS-R, the AQ, the CAT-Q, a couple of the spectrum tests, and lo and behold, my scores certainly reflected my concerns. And after looking over the notes and thinking back over the course of my life, it all just made so much sense. I took those scores and my notes and I consulted with some of my friends who are professionals on this app. Obviously, I didn't ask them to diagnose me or anything like that. I wanted their opinion as professionals, as friends. And when they all came back saying, yeah, that's something you're going to want to look into, I'm absolutely taking their advice. So with that in mind and a new pile of notes in hand, I went to my family doctor. And it was then that I asked him to refer me to a different clinic, one that specialized in adult autism. So now, while I sit on the wait list for a formal diagnosis, I'm practicing what I preach. I'm a self-diagnosed autistic.